hey, YouTube, you're going to talk about things going on in the world around us, and obviously there's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on, but in particular, there's a little short amount of time, there's a lot happening, particularly with things going on down south where there's a wall that's supposed to be down there. Obviously, there's a lot going on with that. I had a video recently where I'm talking about that on my other channel as well. But big thing happened yesterday. The czar in charge of those particular things going on down there has resigned because it's just been a disaster. And so much so that the current administration says that they wanted to start plugging in those holes in the wall like the previous administration wanted to do. So go figure. So that's pretty funny. Another thing I definitely want to talk about is Biden wanting to do executive action on the Second Amendment. And of course he can't do that, but he thinks he can now because he's gotten away with so much already. But what I do want to talk about today is why I want to do it here, because it's something I am going to talk about more in depth on my other channel, but this I think is a good format to do this. And for disclosure, I'm going to be very careful with my language so this video stays up on the internet, so it's super important for everyone to see. But Earl Simmons passed away yesterday. That's DMX, for you guys don't know. He was 50 years old, and the reports are that he passed away from an overdose. And when I heard that, I was really suspicious as to why that was the case, because Earl Simmons has been sober for like 10 years, and he had an album praising God for his recovery and how much of a changed man he is. So when I heard it was an overdose, I was like, maybe not. Let me look into it. And of course, came into this interview. It says exclusive, but this has been on multiple news things. In fact, if you're going to go doing a search on DuckDuckGo, you'll run across multiple of these articles basically coming from the same source. But I'll just read this, and again, be careful with my language. DMX received illness, thing in the arm, days before heart attack. Family says no drugs involved. Rap legend DMX, real name Earl Simmons, is currently in the ICU. No longer, he's actually now dead, but this, of course, came out a couple days ago. Reports speculate that DMX's condition may have been brought about because of alleged drug overdose, but MTO News spoke with a member of Simmons' family who believes that it was not drugs that caused the heart attack. In an exclusive interview, MTO News spoke with DMX family member who's told us that the rapper received the sickness, thing in arm, about a week before he suffered from the heart attack. DMX's family member told MTO News that DMX got the thing in the arm when they opened it up to people over 50. He got it so he can travel and perform and stuff like that. Fast forwarding here a little bit. A family member suspects that DMX's heart attack could have been a reaction to the thing in the arm. The family member explained, everyone in the news keeps saying that DMX had a drug overdose. How do they know that? No one in the family knows that. No doctor has told us anything about an overdose. The family member is furious that the speculations surrounding DMX's drug use. She told MTO News that, yes, he had past issues with drugs, but nobody knows that it has an OD, and it's effed up. It's being reported like that. She told MTO News that the family is considering taking legal action against news publications prematurely concluding that DMX suffered a drug overdose. But what is clear, according to the family member, that DMX did take the sickness thing in the arm. Grieving Kin explained he took that thing in the arm and he had a heart attack. I'm not saying that thing in the arm did it, but he never had a heart attack before. And that includes with 167 million doses of that sickness thing in the arm was administered in the United States from December through today. CDC received only about 3,000 reports of death among people who received the thing in the arm for the sickness. So I'm going to pause here and just reflect on this for a second. The CDC says, only 3,000 people, not a big deal. That's 3,000 people reported. and have definitely concluded it's due to this thing in the arm. How do we know? You know, there are other reports that are being swept under the rug because obviously the people involved in this huge rollout of this thing in the arm want the public's confidence in this. So what happened with Earl Simmons, aka DMX, would be a huge obstacle to the confidence in that thing. So we got a celebrity who's died potentially because of it. And of course, I wanted to bring this up as well because he's not the only celebrity who has passed due to the same circumstance. Home run legend Hank Aaron received the that thing, and he passed away a couple days later. And I just want to be clear on this because people swept this under the rug too, because they're like, well, he's old. He was 86, and obviously not doing great. But I just want to share the irony of, you know, what he was saying after he took it. So I'm just going to boost the audio here for a second.
Makes me feel wonderful. I don't have any qualms about it at all. You know, I feel quite proud of myself of doing something like this. You know, it's just a small thing that can help zillions of people in this country.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so small thing that can help millions of people. They of course picked a fictional number, yeah, Hank Aaron, the man with the home run record, the standing one. Obviously, Barry Bonds broke it, but they took his record away because Barry Bonds was doing steroids. But here he is, Hank Aaron, a wonderful human being, passed away 2 days later after taking another thing in the arm. But again, that's just one more celebrity. Let's throw one more at you guys. Oh yeah, and let me just share this really quick thing. This is the number of people with the FLU. This was on Fox News, so I'm surprised more people haven't seen this. Number of people with FLU. This was it in 2019 to 2020 season. This was it 2020 to 2021 season. So there's some shenanigans there, obviously. And let me just share. This is the last thing I'll share because we're right now talking about celebrities who have lost their lives to this. Let me open this one up. Midwin Charles, for those of you who don't know Midwin Charles, she was a public figure who was in CNN. Here she is. And here's a tweet that she had just got thing in the arm because of my asthma at the FEMA Center. Everything was so uniform. It's good to see our servicemen and women. Process was organized and efficient, and everyone is kind and in a good mood. Let's do this. One was that March, and now in April, this woman was 47 years old, died mysteriously. And, you know, relatively young age, not even 50 years old yet. And the media is not reporting on this, even if she was a public figure who contributes for CNN, ironically, right? That's just the third victim within the month of April who is a high-profile celebrity. So again, I've been very careful with my language here. I encourage you all to share this information while being careful with your language so it doesn't get taken down from the platforms you use. But this has to stop. Again, on my other channel, I'm going to talk about it more in depth on my podcast, which will be longer form. But I just want to let you all know the precedence here because it's not just short-term, negative effects like heart attacks that could happen. There could be long-term effects that can happen because the rollout of these experimental things in the arm obviously did not have the time to do the long-term testing. Normally, the rollout for a thing in the arm like this would take years and years and years because long-term things have to be taken into effect. Now, half the country, half the United States has had this happen, yet people are still thinking that it's a good idea, and they're bragging to all their friends and family about how you got to do the right thing. And now there are universities considering requiring the things in the arm in order to attend the university. What do you think is next? What do you think is next? It's our kids. If the universities somehow are found to, especially the public ones, legally allowed to require this, it's going to be high schools and then middle schools and elementary schools next. So hell no, I'm not letting my kid and potentially more future children be forced into taking this, because the long-term effects, obviously, no one knows about. And you have people like DMX who are dying within a couple days of taking it. So yeah, I just made my piece here, but I would love for this type of information to get out there more. So it's my job as well as your job to make sure more and more people know about this. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one.